Chapter 24 Liar. Alice took me back to the others, who still waited in the same store as they had before. Leo was typing with Hal in one corner. I'm guessing getting all the details of what happened. Eve seemed to be looking through the choices of clothing, bringing shirts up to her body to see if they would fit. Her brown eyes locked on us as we entered the store. She tilted her head slightly to the right, in a questioning fashion. "Alice, I told you to check on him, not make him cry," Eve huffed and crossed her arms. My hand instantly covered my puffed-up eyes. I had thought she wouldn't be able to notice. Is everyone in this game observant? Well, except me? Hal and Leo looked towards us from Eve's comment. "He was like this when I found him," Alice blurted in her defense. "Great. Now everyone knows. Guess it's too late to lie now." "Eve, Alice had nothing to do with it, okay?" I admitted, praying that they wouldn't ask any more questions. "The shock finally caught up to you, huh?" Hal laughed, returning to his conversation with Leo. "I guess," I somewhat lied. "I just can't process anything anymore. Everything's being turned upside down, and I can't find which way's up. We can deal with your pathetic excuse for an explanation later, all right? Right now, we need to get some stuff done. Alice, according to Leo, and since he refuses to speak to you again, I'll just tell you. Matthew is still somewhere around the area looking for you in particular," Hal said in a shallow tone. "Can't that guy take a hint?" Alice sighed. I took my hand from my eyes. "What, did you date him or something?" "No. You. I beat him in a fight, and since then he always challenges me every time we run into each other," Alice smirked. "He's the fighter," Eve added. "Ah. As for you two, I'm going to look through Leo's pictures and the cameras to see what I can understand about this whole thing. Why don't you find a place where we can sleep for the night? And be sure to completely clear it out," Hal ordered. He walked out of the store with Leo. Alice brushed a loose hair from her face and drew a pistol from her belt loop. She looked at Eve and me with a wide smirk. "Don't be messing around too much. You still have a job. Now, if you excuse me, I have a 3 to catch." What does she mean by mess around? I shrugged off the idea, as Eve and I left searching for a good place to stay. Personally, I think Mr. OCD should do it. I doubt that anything we find won't meet his standards anyway. I still wonder why we follow him, but it can't be helped. Eventually, we found a place that seemed to be decently empty. I mean, if he's going to make us empty the whole place out, might as well find a place where we do the least amount of work. "Can you help me move this?" I questioned Eve, struggling while holding the box with my good hand. She nodded cheerfully, skipping over to me to help. She took the opposite end of the heavy package, with a grunt. We moved the box outside into the already crowded walkway. I looked back into the emptying store. We've been moving things for hours, and it still doesn't look like we were making any progress. I wiped my brow, returning inside the shop. Eve followed, looking equally tired. "How did Hal expect us to do this?" she whined. "You know him better than I do. You tell me," I pointed out as I picked up a mannequin. "I guess you're right," she accepted. I rolled out a rack of clothing. The girl stopped for a moment, grabbing her stomach as she began to cough violently. I stopped my work to stare at the girl. Her other hand went to her lips, covering her mouth as the coughing grew. "Eve, are you okay?" I questioned with concern. She nodded yes, but I really doubt that. Her coughing increased to a nauseating tone. Eve's grip on her stomach tightened as her knees began to bend. Soon she kneeled on the ground, gasping for breath between coughs. "Eve?" I called, running over to her, dropping the mannequin where I stood. I got onto her level, putting a hand on her back. She took her hand from her mouth, reaching for a pocket in her shirt. With her hand shaking, she pulled out a fully filled shot with the mysterious red liquid within it. Confusion painted my face. "Eve, please don't do drugs again. I don't want to take you back to the hospital," I begged. She shook her head. With that, her body cringed, sending waves up her torso. Red poured from her hand as she vomited onto the gray-tiled floor. "Eve!" I called again. The girl took her hand away from her lips, using both to balance her. She vomited the red substance again and then again onto the floor. Her skin became an icy pale as the color drained from her very being. I don't know what to do. I can't just stand here and do nothing, but we're an hour's walk from the hospital. I don't have any credits on me. Think. There has to be something that I can do. I don't have any medical knowledge or even basic first aid. Damn it. All I know is games, and they aren't even real. I couldn't be more useless in this situation. Though, this is a game, isn't it? In games, randomly there's health or something to increase time. My eyes looked at the shot that Eve had dropped. Is that it? Is that our health? Is that why she was taking it? Whatever this is, it isn't the first time it happened. Eve, take the shot, I commanded. At this point, the girl was gasping as her shaking limbs reached out for the red needle. Blood and spit dripped from her lips as her shallow breath filled the air. I'll admit, I had to close my eyes when she did this. I really hate the very sight of needles. I really need to get over it. You wouldn't think that when my situation is terrifying that You wouldn't think that when my situation is terrifying that I'd be afraid of a needle. I guess that's why they're called irrational. After a few minutes, the coughing stopped, and I felt a hand across my back. I opened my eyes, to be met with Eve's. Are you okay? I questioned. I'm fine, but you can't tell Alice or Hal about this. Got it? In fact, don't tell anyone, okay? Why shouldn't I? You're sick, Eve, and I don't want you to die, I argued. That's why you can't tell anyone. If everyone found out that I was vomiting blood, they'd abandon me. It's just like Hal said. We should cut our losses. I'll live. She paused with a dark expression that honestly made me question if she was about to kill me. If you tell anyone about this, blank, you won't be around much longer. Got it? Yes. Honestly, I believe her. I've never truly seen her angry, so she must be serious about this. This isn't sitting well with me. I promise to win this game with you, so we can meet in the real world. I want to get to know the real you. All of you. And if that means overcoming this obstacle, I'll be by your side. I promised. How long are you going to keep to that stupid promise line? She huffed, annoyed. Promises are all I have, and a promise is the only thing that I can offer. So a promise means I'm giving everything I can, I explained. You're going to give me error codes, Eve blushed, with a sour expression as if it conflicted on her emotions. I don't know what those are. I stared blankly at the girl. Eve pushed me to the ground, covering my mouth with her hand. She looked quickly around the mall, ignoring me for the most part. I mumbled through her hand, confused as to what was going on. Her eyes widened as she rolled to her back, pushing us both out of the way of an arrow that struck the ground where we were. Eve released me, looking for the cause. A boy, maybe 16, came out of nowhere. His hair was dirty and dark brown. It curled, meeting his icy skin covered in freckles. His shirt was white, with several stains including those of blood, with black sleeves and jeans. Who are you? I questioned. I'm assuming a 3. My name's Matthew, and I'm the fighter, and it seems I found some prey. Is everyone in this game just trying to kill each other? Okay, just hold on for a second. Is everyone's goal in this game just to kill each other? We are literally doing the cell phone killer's job for him, I sighed. Who? Eve questioned. The killer? The guy who literally runs this whole world? Oh, I mean, the game maker, I explained, realizing that they don't have their memories back. Not really, Matthew began. It's just if I don't kill you guys, then Ian will kill me. It's survival. Why don't you just come over here and relax? Ian has tried to kill all of us, and as far as I know, has failed every time. He can't be that big of a threat, and besides, if he is, we can probably get enough people together to overthrow his psychotic rule. He's just one kid, and the whole point of this world is to survive and discover the killer's true identity. So why are we trying to kill each other? And all the time we've been separate teams, we could have been working together to find the clues and win, I sighed, pointing out the obvious. Where did that come from? Eve questioned. You know, I think about this all the time. You 3 just don't let me talk, I growled with resentment. Wait for a second. Ian told me about you. Blank, right? He questioned. I noticed the grip on his weapon tighten as he spoke. Yes? You're working with the game maker, aren't you? Matthew rashly concluded. Eve seemed in shock from this, taking a step back from me. What? What gave you that crazy idea? I blurted in surprise. Is that true? Eve asked with fear in her voice. No, I snapped back. Ian told us how you two fought, and how you stabbed him, Matthew explained. And what gave you the impression that I was working for the game maker? I begged for an answer. No, it was when your face appeared on the night sky. Ian said that in 2 years that he's been here, no player had ever shown up in the sky, and then right now, you called him the cell phone killer. No one here has ever called him that, and yet you have, he pointed out. Eve seemed confused and frightened by my presence. No, Eve, believe me, I pleaded. You never got your memories back, she growled. They've been coming back slowly, I argued. You didn't find a clue, though, she barked. This isn't looking well for me at all. Eve pulled out her dual taser pole, turning on the blue glow, and pointed it towards me with cold eyes. You lied to me.